Hello and welcome to Drum Forest Drum Gaming. I am joined by the lovely Jamie.
Ooh, it's the lovely Jamie today. Hello.
Hello, how you doing, Jamie?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm not bad, thank you. You had a good day?
It's been good. It's too hot though.
It
Not
is
gonna lie.
very warm. I am very warm here as well, but
Bit roasty toasty.
it is rather roasty toasty. So today, guys, we're gonna do a bit more Rainbow Six Siege. Now, I haven't played this in a while.
I don't remember how to do anything.
I remember how to move and shoot.
Yeah, that's about it.
I'm sure the rest of it will come as I play. You can't jump, I remember that much.
Don't really need to jump in this game though, to be honest.
It would be nice if I could jump.
What for?
I don't know, I just like being able to jump.
Fair enough. Just so you can jump around,
Yes.
be a bit silly.
Yes. Gives me more freedom so that, instead of having to only be able to go on things that it allows me to with like the vault action and stuff, like I'm actually able to just jump. Ah, we're off to a good start.
Oh no.
Yeah, I got the diffuser. I got the diffuser.
You defuse that bomb. Go for it. I'm just gonna stick with everyone today.
Yeah, well I would shoot through, but this guy's kind of in the way. Throwing a grenade in there, don't go in there, don't go in there. I don't think it did anything. Ow.
My game is like really loud down my ears.
Right, going all crouchy, boys.
Oh. I've forgotten how to crouch.
C.
I'm doing Dead by Daylight crouch.
C is crouch.
I got it.
C is crouch, left control is go prone. Oh, okay. Good work.
Thanks.
We got this.
Hello!
Hello! Fancy meeting you here.
In this beautiful yellow smoke.
And
Delightful.
it's so pretty. Diffuser's down, yo.
I don't know where to sit.
On your butt. I can't really see much.
Oh.
Motherfudger won't die. I can't see who's shooting at me.
No, me neither.
This is horrific. Can't see anything. So Jamie, I had
Yeah.
something I wanted to have a little talk about today. What is your opinion, your views on emulators and ROMs and things?
I haven't really had much experience with them.
No.
But I feel like they are a good idea. I like the idea of them, what they do and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to play older things that you might not be able to nowadays.
Yeah.
You still get to enjoy older games.
Without the consoles and things.
Yeah, which I think's a good thing, or otherwise they'll just die out a bit, won't they?
Yeah.
But it's kind of keeping older games alive and keeping the older consoles alive, even though you don't really need to have them.
Yeah, I would agree on that one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there is a lot of laws and things behind all this kind of stuff, and I mean, I have done some research on it, but obviously I would say to people, don't quote me on anything I say. I have done some research, but I am not a lawyer, and if anyone has actually looked into things like copyright law when it comes to games and things like that,
I think the bomb's downstairs.
I'm sure they would completely understand. Oh, it's just me and you left. Oh dear, I didn't even notice. Then yeah, anyone who's actually looked into this stuff would understand it's actually pretty confusing. To be perfectly honest, but basically,
there's loads of bombs over there. I don't like the look of that.
I shoot one bullet.
I can hear people.
Yeah. Right, I'm going down the stairs.
Where are they shooting from?
Just there. Yeah, so what I've found from looking up is emulators themselves are not illegal.
How do we get downstairs again? Oh, it's over there. There's one over there. Is that the one we did?
I didn't think it would show up on your map if we did it.
I think it still does.
Emulators themselves are not illegal unless sorry, I'm trying to excuse me. Unless like the software itself contains copyrighted or illegal content.
You've got the diffuser back there.
Oh yeah, I do. Sorry, I'm miles away. So yeah, the emulators themselves, unless contain copyrighted or illegal content, aren't illegal. From what I can tell, from what I've looked up. Now, when it comes to ROMs, the law on those are, once again, from what I can tell, is that...
You keep walking in front of me.
Sorry. You can create a ROM from something you own.
Oh, I'm down already.
Can you crawl to me? I'm dead as well. That went terribly. I couldn't see
that
a thing.
Was really bad.
So ROMs, basically, they're only legal if, from certain points of view. They're only legal if they're purposefully released into the public domain by the copyright owner.
Right. Okay.
Was given or sold to you by the copyright owner. Has its copyright actually expire, which I believe is about 75 years since the publication, which is a long old time. Or the other one is if it's an archival copy that you've created for backup purposes. So basically, if you've got a game and you've created the ROM yourself, but only for yourself, if you start sharing that ROM either on the internet or with other people anyway, that's when it becomes illegal. So downloading ROMs is technically illegal.
Right, okay.
Now, my biggest issue with this, and I understand the laws and everything, and don't get me wrong, I don't go downloading ROMs left, right, and centre and stuff like that. But my biggest issue is the fact that the copyright law on this. 75 years since publication. Right? Now, that means pretty much every game that we know of is still under the copyright laws.
Yeah.
So all the old games that we love to play are still under those laws and things, which is a real shame. Because, I mean, when you look at a lot of the old consoles, like, they were released a fairly long time ago. Like, the Sega Genesis was... released in 1990 for PAL regions, and actually 1988 for Japan. The NES was 1983 for Japan, 1986 for the EU. The SNES was 1990 and 1992. The PS2 was released in 2000. Same map, like, really? So, you know, quite a long time ago, and I actually looked up when these games... Why have I got the diffuser?
I don't know. Someone dropped it.
I actually looked up the discontinue dates for all these consoles. as well. The Sega Genesis was discontinued in 1999. The NES was discontinued in 1995 in North America, or 2003 in Japan. Same with the SNES. The PS2 was discontinued in 2013.
Alright, okay.
So, you know, these consoles aren't even being made anymore.
Oh, I'm down already.
I got you. What the hell? Who was shooting me?
There's someone right in front of you.
I couldn't see him. So I'm nearly dead. So yeah, like these consoles aren't even being made anymore. And then the other thing I looked up was what the Swan Song games was for these consoles. So for anyone out there who doesn't understand that term, basically what was the final game of these consoles made? For the NES, it was a game called Wario Woods, and this was made in 1994. For the Sega Genesis, 2 in a row, like really? For the Sega Genesis, it was actually Frogger, which was made in 1998, which wasn't overly liked as a whole. The SNES was also a version. Sorry, I'm not good. Killed me.
I died.
I may have walked in front of him. Can't tell. Yeah, I did. So that was my own fault. The SNES was also a version of Frogger, which wasn't overly liked. The PlayStation 1 Swan Song was FIFA 2005, which was released in 2004. Which, and I mean, the FIFA games are big. Even non-fans like those.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, I quite like the FIFA games. PS2, the last one of that was FIFA 2014. And that was released in 2013. The N64 was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, which was released in 2002. So, you know, like, they're not producing these games anymore for these consoles. Yeah. Like, they're not making these games anymore, even the ones that were released back in the day. It's all stopped production.
Yeah.
So, I guess my point is, any games of these consoles, or any of these games that are bought, the developers don't even get royalties for them anymore.
Yeah, but I kind of get their side of it, where they've put a lot of work into creating these games, and I suppose anything that goes against buying it from them, you know, and they're going to be kind of against it for all the work they've put into it.
Which I understand, and I completely get that. But sort of, so when these games were being released and sold by the companies, I can completely get that. But now that we're however many years on, and any copies that are being sold, none of the money goes to them anyway, is it not better to still have these games circling in some format and people knowing who made these games, just in a general sense? So someone downloads a game from years and years ago, they really love it, and they're like, who made this game? Let's see what else they've made, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Instead of the games just being completely out of circulation altogether.
Well, then shouldn't the game creators themselves be distributing these games still, but in like an online form where they don't have to be producing the discs for the consoles anymore? They can be producing them for these emulators, but they're still distributing it, so it's still their content instead of someone just sharing it online, kind of thing. So you can still buy the game from them,
but just as a download for the emulator.
Yeah, but as a download for the emulator, so that it's still their property. They're not being, you know, their copyright isn't
being infringed upon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. Anyone out there, if we, I don't know if that kind of thing exists. If anyone out there actually knows of that existing, let us know in the comments, because I would love to know. Because that would be amazing if that actually was a thing. And if it's not a thing, like, should it be a thing? I reckon that's a really good idea, because then, as we've said, like, as Jamie said, no copyright then gets infringed upon, and people can still really enjoy the old games.
Exactly. It's a bit of both. Everyone can still enjoy the old games without them needing to be produced anymore, but the creators still have the copyright over it and can still distribute it and things like that.
And still make the money that they deserve from it if it's still
Exactly, yeah.
wanting to be bought. Yeah, and I think that's a really good idea. I think that's an awesome idea. I mean, the other thing is, I suppose, off of it, is maybe copyright law too long? Is maybe 75 years on copyright law for something like a game too long?
Yeah, I feel like games they get old real quick.
Yeah.
So 75 years is even longer than it may be for something else, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, to be not as dark as possible, but I will probably be dead by the time a lot of the games I love run out of their copyright.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, wouldn't it be nicer if, like, I could say to my kids, you know, like, hey, I played this when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't develop it anymore, but you can play this. You can download this and still play it. And then pass that on to the next generation and still have these games circulating in a way that still gets the names out there. Because, I mean, there are a lot of games that, you know, will go down in history, but there are also a lot of great games that unfortunately won't, and they will get forgotten.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that, yeah, I just feel that maybe certain consoles and games of a certain generation shouldn't be, or people who want to play these games shouldn't be prosecuted for the only way that they can play these games. Because like a lot of these games, if you actually want to buy them off other people, cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Nowadays. And things like that. Like, some of them have become very rare, and some can cost a lot of money. So, which, obviously, none of that money goes to the developers anyway.
That's true.
So, why not make it so that another form of getting it, as you say, like a place where royalties still go to the copyright owners and the game developers who actually made it, and you can download it for the emulators themselves.
Yeah.
And then no laws are being broken, effectively.
Exactly.
Like, that would be awesome if that could happen.
I mean, maybe eventually the creators of these games will realise that, and realise that eventually if they stop producing a game, but it's still being shared around, that it would be worth distributing it themselves. Because if people can do it themselves online, it can't be hard for the actual creators of the games to be able to distribute it themselves online. So why would they not do it to carry on earning money from a game that otherwise would just be stopped?
Yeah. I mean, all they'd have to do is create a ROM themselves, which is not difficult, and then, yeah, put it up onto the download file up onto a website for a fee.
I mean, maybe they think, what's the point of doing that when people are doing it themselves for free anyway?
But then, unfortunately, because people are doing it themselves, there are people who do get in trouble, unfortunately, because then they get sued for breaking copyright law and
that's the thing, I think,
piracy reasons.
Yeah, I think if they sold it, you know, for a fair price, because it is just an old game that they wouldn't be getting money for anyway, I think a lot of people would be more likely to pay for it and get it in a legal way.
Yeah, I definitely would. I'd love to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's little things like, when I was a kid, you were either a Nintendo kid or a Sega kid. Like, obviously there were some lucky people who had both, but overall, you either had one or the other, you know?
Yeah.
And I was a Sega kid, so I never got to play the Nintendo games. I never had a Nintendo 64. I had a PlayStation. I never had a Super Nintendo or just a general NES. Like, I had a Sega Mega Drive. So, you know, it's one of those situations. It would be nice for me to be able to go back and play those games without having to fork out an arm and a leg for them. You know?
Yeah, of course.
Like, that kind of thing. And also, you've got the other point of technology is changing, like, immensely. Like, the simple things of connecting your consoles up to a TV. Now, I don't know about, and I know there are adapters and things, like you can get adapters, but my screen, for my computer, I know TVs are slightly different, but I think they will head the same way at some point. My screen doesn't allow for a VGA connection, because my computer doesn't allow for a VGA connection. I just don't have that option. And I know you can buy adapters, but will it come to a point where eventually that will stop? So all these old consoles that need plugging in via all the really old school aux cables and the things that came before that, are they even viable anymore? Will you even be able to plug them in anymore?
Yeah, I think that will definitely become an issue.
But yeah, let's head back to the main menu.
Okie doke.
But yeah, so I mean, I think we've covered a decent amount. I mean, I like the idea of emulators and ROMs, and I really like your idea of, you know, developers should get on that. Like, old games, they could make a little bit more, if they're worried about people pirating their games, they should just make it so that their ROMs are viable to download at a small price.
Yeah.
You know, people would be happy to even just pay, like, I'd be happy to pay £5 for a NES game.
Yeah.
You know, a download of a NES game. I would happily pay that. I would probably happily pay £10 for a download of a NES game.
And I think other people would too.
Yeah, because it's that old school feeling. You're finally getting to play some of the games you never got that have gone down in history as what started gaming and things like that. But as I said, guys, anyone out there who actually knows of that, if that's been already done, and if we're just talking about throwing ideas out that have actually already happened, let us know in the comments, because I would love to know if this actually does exist, because I would be straight on there.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be awesome. But yeah, I mean, I think we've covered a nice amount today. But yeah, what do you guys think at home? What's your view on emulation and using ROMs and ISOs and things? Let us know in the comments down below. That'd be great. I'd like to say thank you to Jaime for joining me today.
You are welcome.
And yeah, don't forget to give us a like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Take it easy, guys.